before he was a so-called mass murderer. And then there's another organization, the Foundation for Defense of the Democracies. Defense of Democracies. Yes, I find it very important when you're defending democracies to put bugs in your senator's office. You know, you just can't trust those suckers sometimes, and you might need some information before you put something on their plane to make it crash. And then this organization has high-profile conservative politicians and public officials associated with it, including former House Speaker Newt Gingrich, Senator Joseph Lieberman, Weekly Standard editor William Kristol, Representative Eric Cantor, former Bush official Richard Pearl, and columnist Charles Krauthammer. Well, I guess that's why they don't put those things in the newspaper, because those guys work there too. Remember on talk radio, a lot of time, the talk show hosts that probably go to a good propaganda school would always say, what, you think we just sit in an office and conspire and try to arrange things against you? I don't think it. I know it. And this proves it. So what kind of things would a senator on the Senate Homeland Security Committee do? And she's actually the chairperson. Intelligence reform in the aftermath of the Christmas terrorist attack. Well, she might know the truth, eh? Can't let that happen. Overviews of contracting corruption in Afghanistan. Well, you can't figure that out. We need the money and the drugs. Planning for securing America's diplomats around the world. Terrorist Reform and Terrorist Prevention Act. Investigating the root causes of the Fort Hood attack. Probably easier just to listen to this show and then you don't need any bugs, eh? Securing America from financial crimes. Well, I think there was a big one when they did the bailout. Protecting from cyber attack. Development for post-surge Afghanistan. Speculations in trading and effects on national security. U.S. banks help overseas dodging U.S. taxes. Tax havens from the IRS hiding billions. Abuses of government credit cards by employees. Ending offshore secrecy. Shell oil credit card interest abuses, Medicaid abuse and equipment overcharges, billions in unpaid taxes on Medicaid, income by American doctors, speculating in the energy markets, failures in United Nations reform, like taking those guns off you suckers, eh? Speculation and manipulation that controls the right of crude oil and gasoline markets, and many, 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 many more. And that's not on the front page, because you shouldn't know that stuff. See, you can't have a good fascist kingdom if you know things. It just doesn't work. Because then you can't be a citizen too well if you don't have that knowledge. Obama's secret prisons, night raids, detention centers, black jails, use of dogs in the war in Afghanistan. So isn't that nice? They just grab people off the street, sand, wherever they get them, just take them away, lay a good beating on them, torture them. A lot of times they're innocent. But what really surprised me, I don't know if I highlighted it, but was just a statement from one of the officers who plays this game in these special forces late night raids. Is he just, if you make dozens and dozens of raids, which means you harass, injure, and hurt dozens and dozens of people, and one time you get it right, then that justifies everything. Sometimes they killed some of these people. See, you get one, you kill 100, it all works out in the wash. Unless you're one of the 100, then it's not so much fun anymore. But that's the kind of people we have running our governments. That's the kind of people we have running these wars. Isn't that nice? Then for some Quickie short news, I hear Ontario's going to be raising all the fines because we need more money. There's not enough toilet paper in the jails. We got to buy some more. The girls, and we got to get the vaccines. Maybe we should get video cameras for the guys, just in case they're off duty and they're at home and there's a nice piece of ass going through the shower room. We got to catch that, We just can't let it go undisturbed. Maybe Dalton's at home too, watching on some kind of closed circuit hookup, eh? How's it going there, buddy? Both hands on the table. Israeli warships on the way to the Persian Gulf. Well, that's good. Guess the sooner we start some kind of war over there, the more money the military-industrial complex can make. The American military is going to do an earthquake drill in the end of April, first week of May. So Somewhere, somehow, somebody may be kissing their ass goodbye. Terror suspect visa, yeah, we covered that, so we won't get into that too much anymore. John Murtha, congressman, passes away. Nobody talks about the fact that his surgery was botched. He was supposed to have some kind of gallbladder surgery. They clipped his intestines, and he died. Well, that's at least a malpractice, at best, a murder, because the CIA has death squads now. That's been openly announced all over for people who are in the know, and I would account people who listen to a show like this to be very much in the know. And then we have a good business guy here from Bloomberg. Talib says every human should short U.S. treasuries. It's a no-brainer, he says. Well, you see, in your short-term collective interest, yes, if you short-sell American treasuries, you can make oodles of money by screwing your own country and screwing your own people. But in the long-term collective interest, when these people get hungry and they carve out your kidneys with a dull knife to have their next meal, it's probably not the best solution. So I look at that as just evil following evil. Or in the case of no-brainer businessmen, like a dog following its tail, trying to catch up to the brain, but getting the other end instead. I remember when they were short-selling the Canadian dollar, I wrote a lot of politicians, and fortunately I got an answer back from England. I guess you were a citizen maybe in those days, because they still had guns. So they were part of the process. And someone from some kind of ministry that dealt with economics thought my idea was very good. And I said we should ally central banks like we do our militaries. If you attack me, I protect you. Only makes sense, doesn't it? So some idiot somewhere in the United States was short-selling the Canadian dollar like that all the time. And where do we go? Down. What was it then? It was like 63 cents or something like that. So what I suggested is when we get it, you come and buy it. And kick the short sellers in the cojones, because it's beyond their ability to comprehend that one human being would help another human being. And guess what? Those guys got hurt bad. And the Canadian dollar started to make a recovery. See, if we work together and we're a community, the long-term collective interest goes well. World bankers meet in Sydney. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Secret meetings. We're not supposed to know. The Bank of International Settlements, all those kind of ooky things. You know, even Bloomberg saying there's a cabal of secret bankers now. I think a lot of people have known that for a long time. We zoom in on the big screen there, my friend. Had a big explosion down south here in Connecticut. Middletown power plant. The beauty of it, you know, you don't see like the World Trade Center thing. You got the Twin Towers, the Pillars of Hercules, and a very bizarre name that comes up in another story, Clean Energy Systems. This happened Sunday at 11:17 a.m. And then when I look at the Toronto papers, you know, a lot of times they announce things in advance by using pictures or phrases or words or numbers just to give a hint, hint, hint if you're in the know. And I was kind of surprised that this puppy was in here. We zoom in on that baby there. So this is from the movie Defendor. And we see the guy uses duct tape to make the D on his shirt. And he just goes after, you know, technology corporations and likes to destroy them. So he gets into this one and kind of sets it amiss and blows it up, and it's on fire. It's probably a steel plant in Hamilton that's not working anymore because nobody's working anymore. And is that a hint? 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 That something's going to happen? Because it's not like they haven't done it before. Then when we go to Australia, we find out that our Rockefeller friend, you know, he wasn't really implicated in the Swingers network. He's a relative unknown. We have to wonder, like, what really happened to this guy? Took a long time to confirm his body. The murderer was called Mario Schembri, and then I find a Mario Schembri in Malta. He's affiliated with something different age. Maybe they're a different person. He's affiliated with the Southern Cross group. And Southern Cross just comes up a lot soon in this show, believe me. And then another business company he's affiliated with is AIS Environmental Limited. A lot of companies involved with that AIS. One of them just happens to be called EcoClean, same spelling, Kleen, as the plant that blew up.